Hey, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you clicked on this video, and I hope that you would consider subscribing to my channel. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and let's get on with these projects. So most of these items that I am using for today's DIYs came from the Dollar Tree. I'm using some clothespins as well, and I'll show you later what I do with those. I'm also using some white chalk paint as well as some Gorilla Wood glue and some vinyl decals that I made on my Cricut vinyl machine. First thing I'll be doing is painting that windmill design with that white chalk paint. Now this is optional, but I did want that to be my background color, and I felt like it gave a good contrast between the black and the white. And taking some of these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree in this eucalyptus design, I went ahead and just used that over the windmill design. I also did spread that out throughout the rest of the words, just creating a little more design element to this piece and making it look a little more interesting. It did add a very nice touch, if I do say so myself. But if you have other types of rub-on transfers that you want to use, you can certainly use those in place of this eucalyptus design. But I do like that green against that white background, and I think it really does look really nice. It has a very farmhouse feel as well as a spring feel. So you can add as much or as little as you want of this transfer. But I liked adding it to each of the letters, just a touch here and there. So the next step is to take my decal that I made on my Cricut cutting machine and just burnishing that over top of that cow. And it just basically spells out is where my hurt is. So essentially, I will be combining two of these Dollar Tree decor items to create a more substantial piece. And that's where the clothespins come in. So basically, I took the clothespin apart, removing that metal piece and just gluing those two wood pieces together, just like so. I did use 2 sets of clothespins and then glued those pieces using wood glue. Now I will be attaching those clothespins to this home sign with some wood glue and some hot glue just for that quick hold or instant hold. And that will be the bottom part that will elevate the cow so that it is able to be seen behind that home word. Hopefully you can follow along what I'm explaining here. So then I'm attaching that cow piece on top of the clothespins and behind the home word, just using a mixture of the hot glue as well as the wood glue. So again, this is more of a stacked or staggered piece of decor. Now I really like the look of combining these two pieces together, just giving it more of an interesting look and feel and making it look a little bit more high-end. And I think those two items definitely coordinate well with each other. So as an added touch, I wanted to add some greenery to this piece and just taking some sprigs of scrap greenery from my stash. I just went ahead and glued them down to different parts of this decor piece, just to the front part. And I wanted to create a little bow as well, so I'm just taking some jute twine. And since the jute twine is a little on the thin and skimpy side, I went ahead and grabbed maybe 4 pieces of jute twine and then created a simple bow just to make it look a little bit more thicker and fuller. And just did a simple shoestring bow and then glued that to the bottom part of that sign. I think this came out super cute and adorable, and I'm really happy with the outcome. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and give it a try. On to the next DIY. So we're taking another one of those chalkboard pig decors, as well as the love decor, and some of these wood cubes, and these all came from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing that I'll want to do is to paint that center windmill design just as I did in the first DIY, using that same white chalk paint. And again, this is just for contrast and also to make the rub-on transfer that I will be using pop a little bit more. And since the rub-on transfer is black in color, it will pop against that white paint. I also took a piece of sandpaper and gave each of those letters a good sanding, just again for a little distressed look and contrast. So I'm using one of these really cute rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. And it has a bunch of random farmhouse type of designs on it. And I'm just cutting out the pieces that I think might fit into that surface space where the windmill is, or on that windmill design. And as I mentioned, the background of the windmill is white, so I'm trying to choose the designs that are black in color, just so it stands out against the paint. So since I'm working with very limited space here, I was very careful in choosing the designs that would fit into the space and that you were still able to make out what the designs were without it being too big where it got cut off. So I just picked out a mixture of different vegetables and farm animals and utensils and things like that. Anything that I thought that would fit into the space, basically. So you can choose whatever type of transfers that you want to use if you don't have this particular one, or if you wanted to use a different style or color. You can also use a stencil to paint on your design if you choose, but this is just an idea for you. I really like this rub-on transfer. I've had this in my stash for a while, but haven't really known what to use it on, and this was a good opportunity to finally use up some of these transfers that I've had. And I think it's really cute too, since it is very farmhouse and all of the designs in it fits in well with this decor piece that I'm creating. So the next step was to glue the square beads to the back of that first sign, the love sign. And this is just to add height or to elevate the pig. Since the pig is a little on the shorter side, I didn't want it to get hidden behind the first sign. So I needed to find a way to elevate that pig. That way it wouldn't be hidden, and that way you could still see the wording that I will be adding to that pig. And if you have other types of random scrap pieces of wood or Jenga wood blocks, you can use those as well to elevate your piece. So I did make this vinyl decal on my Cricut cutting machine, and that's what I'm doing now, is burnishing these onto the pig. Now, if you wanted to paint your animals, your farm animals, in a different color and do a wording in black color, you can do that as well. I think that would also be a great option. I actually thought about doing that, but I decided to keep it the black chalkboard color. I really do like that the way it is, but that's why I decided to just stay with the white decal and then keep the pig black. But I did go back and forth with the idea of possibly painting the animals a different color and then using a darker wording. So again, you can totally make this your own that would fit your style and customize it to however you want this to be. So then I'm taking my sandpaper and just giving the edges a good sanding or distressing. You can leave this part out. This is just if you like the rustic look and you want to add a little distressing to your piece and a little contrast here to your color. This is purely optional. If you wanted to also paint distress it, you can also get some white paint and also dry brush that along the edges as well. And that would be an option that you have. I actually thought about doing that as well, but I just went ahead and just used sandpaper. So then I had to go ahead and attach the pig to those pieces of wood beads and attach my two decor pieces together. And so far I'm liking how this is looking. I think it looks super neat and adorable the way it's combined like that with the word and the farm animal. And just as I did with the first DIY, I wanted to add some greenery to this piece just to complete the look. I felt it was bare in between those two pieces. And a little greenery never hurt anything, and I felt like it added a little bit of that something something that it was missing, and I definitely think it completed this look. So that is it for DIY number 2, and I think it came out super adorable, and I hope you guys like it too. And now we're on to our final DIY of this video. Again, using one of these chalkboard animals as well as a cutting board from the thrift store. I'm also using contact paper that came from Dollartree in this really pretty black and white toile design. I'm giving this cutting board a good coat of white chalk paint. And I will be painting both sides. I just like that finished look, but if you want to paint just one side, that is up to you. Next, I'm taking this contact paper from the Dollar Tree, and essentially I'll be wanting to cut out different parts of this design. I knew I wanted a bigger focal point for my project, so I'm cutting out this really big piece right here. And you'll want to cut out all around the item or the design, just leaving out as much of the white areas as you can. But it's okay if you do have some of the white showing, because our background is white, so it won't be as noticeable. And I also took 2 more additional pieces of the flower design because I wanted to make these sort of hang out over and around this rooster. So you can choose the designs that you want off of this contact paper if you're using this contact paper, but if you decide to go with a different design, you can also use Dollar Tree's wall decals that they have. It's like the sticker decals that they sell, and they have many different types of colors and patterns. I went with this black and white theme. I like the look of it. It looks very French farmhouse to me, and still keeping with the neutral theme. So after I cut out those pieces of contact paper, the design pieces that I wanted from it, I played around with the placement of these pieces of flowers. I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted them to be laid out on this cutting board. As you see here, I'm just sort of fussing with it, seeing if I wanted them, you know, on the left and the right sides, if I wanted them centered, hanging off the edge. I also did forget to mention that this rooster came on a stand just like the other farm animals did. I did have to cut that off with my miter box. And then I was just sanding off the rough edges. So I'm left with this flat piece. So then I'm taking some of this IOD transfers. I wanted to add a transfer to my rooster just for a design element. And I was just testing out which one looks the best and which design would fit the best over the area that I was working with. In the end, I decided to go with this one that you will see here. And this booklet of IOD transfers comes with white lettering or white designs as well as black. I believe it also comes in navy. Since my background is black, I decided to go with this white design, which was perfect. It has a French feel to it, and it fit just right over this rooster. Now, if you don't have one of these IOD transfers, another option would be to use Dollartree transfers, or you can use a stencil to stencil on a design that you want, or you can even add stickers or just paint your rooster altogether. I was really liking how this was coming together. So next it was time to peel back those backing off of the contact paper. And essentially I decided with placing my floral design in the middle parts of this cutting board and just sort of laying it behind the rooster, and I really like the look of this. Let me know what you think so far, how this is coming along, and if this is something that you would try. I did also want to add some distressing, and I took some black chalk paint and just took a sponge dauber, something that you would usually use when you're stenciling, and just gently brush that against the edges of this cutting board, and it definitely tied together the black with the black flowers and the black chalkboard rooster. You can leave that part out if you don't want to do that to yours, but I think that it definitely completes that look and makes everything more cohesive. Also, if you wanted to protect your contact paper, you can also use some Mod Podge to seal them and to make sure that they don't peel off or anything like that. But if you're not concerned with it peeling off, then you can leave that part out. And here I just went ahead and glued my rooster on to the center. You can also use wood glue if you choose, if you feel like you need extra added durability. But I felt like the hot glue was sufficient, so there wasn't really any need for anything stronger than that. Next, I'm also taking a burlap ribbon and just creating a simple bow. I think that burlap, along with the black and white and with the whole French farmhouse theme, it just really looks good. So I'm utilizing that hole that came on this chopping board or cutting board and just sticking that jute twine through that hole and creating a knot. And then I'm just dovetailing my edges. Now you could stop here if you think this is good enough for you, but I did want to add one last bit. And I did take some greenery from my stash, and this is just a sprig of fern greenery. And it was just perfect right here at an angle. And definitely completes this look. I think that it looks amazing and definitely fits in with either a farmhouse or French farmhouse design. And I really love the outcome, and I hope you guys like this one as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed these 3 DIYs that I had to share with you in this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really does help my channel to grow and for YouTube to notice me a little bit more and to push my videos out for others to see. And thank you to all my subscribers for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. And I'm so happy that you come back every time to watch my videos. Please comment down below. I would love to hear from you. And if you are a viewer and you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. I would greatly appreciate it. And I would love for you to be a part of my creative family here on YouTube. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you all in my next one. Until next time, take care.